Hey guys, so I am coming to you from just a life full of puppy love right now. We just got our brand new golden retriever puppy yesterday and it's been crazy but in the best way. And so that's just a little side note. Figured I'd share that with you because she's so cute. And if you want to see her, then you definitely should be on my email newsletter list or in my Facebook group because I will be 100% posting pictures. But getting into this episode of like why am I pausing the podcast? And yeah, surprise, I am pausing it. You could probably tell by the title, but the reason is I am working with a coach, going through a program, and just really 100% focused on bettering the podcast right now for you guys, and also just to make sure that I'm clear around like who God wants me to serve with this podcast and what that messaging should be to best serve that person and that group of people. So in that, I feel like it makes the most sense since here's the thing. If it was just a small shift, I would keep going and I would just kind of, shift as I go. But the thing is, this is a little bit of a bigger shift where I feel like God's pulling me out of the marriage specific space. Not that I'll never talk to marriage again. I'm sure I will. And if you're here for marriage, like the shift will still most likely be relevant to you. But it's going to be a little broadened and the messaging is going to be a little different. And because of that, I really feel like it's best that I take a pause and take that time to reflect, take time to really like fine tune my cover art, decide what my tagline for the podcast is going to be, if I want to rename it, like I will be renaming it, what that new name's going to look like, all of those things. Like, I just want to get those things. I really want to focus on them and make sure they're right. So one, the right people are finding the podcast, and two, so like it's resonating with the right people. And so no feelings hurt if, things on the podcast change and you realize it's not the right podcast for you. That's okay. But maybe you know someone who this change will be for and you can share it with them. I'm not sure. Maybe if you stick around for a while, you'll find that actually what I'm going to be changing to might even be more relevant to you, might even be more helpful. So just real quick, I can't give you a new name. I can't give you a new tagline yet. Like, I can't tell you those things. I can't tell you exactly what I'll be talking about, but I can give you the overview of what this new podcast, like who it's going to be for and what pain points I'll be speaking to, because I have done some of that work and I'm super excited. So this new podcast, this new iteration of this podcast, right now I don't plan on starting a new one. If I change my mind on that, you will know, but I am planning to just repurpose this podcast and change it up. Now, I'm planning to hopefully relaunch in January. I have no idea what the next few weeks are going to bring, but for the rest of December, I will most likely not be posting any episodes as I just lean into what the Lord's saying and do some more research and some more prayer meetings with him and just see where that goes as I also work on those tactical things, like the things that just have to get done. But this podcast is going to be for Christian women. So that's staying the same, but it's going to be for Christian women who are married or unmarried. And it's going to be for Christian women, kind of in that, this isn't like set in stone, but like, especially for women in their 20s, but women in the range of like 20s to like even like 40, 41, 40, maybe 42, like those kind of years, but mainly like the 20s and 30s. And it's going to be focused on healing, a lot of healing work, and also, but like specifically for women who went through some sort of childhood or teenage trauma. And that could be like a bigger trauma, or that could be even, some smaller things, like just went through something that affected their identity, like how they see themselves, and they sometimes struggle with self-worth, and that's either like they're too hard on themselves, they find themselves being a perfectionist, they find themselves like feeling like everyone else expects them to be strong, or like they have to do things for other people and then don't have anything left to pour into themselves. This can also be, though, people struggling with anxiety, people struggling with depression, and women who are just like struggling in their relationships, especially. Like, I feel like the relationship coach in me, like that's not going away, even with this new shift, even with this new podcast, is like my coaching is so relational based, and even sometimes that is relationship with yourself. Sometimes it's relationship with God, and a lot of times it looks like relationships with others. And so that's who this new podcast is going to be for. It's going to be for the woman who, had some sort of childhood or teenage trauma, and maybe she's getting to a point in life where she's realizing maybe there's still more work to be done in healing that thing. Maybe that is still affecting me, how I view myself, how I talk to myself, and then therefore how I interact in my other relationships with people around me. So that's kind of going to be the direction of the podcast. I know it's still a little broad, but as I have more information, I will be bringing it to you. So if you do want to, get the first of that information, really, maybe even get on the launch team, hear about when it's coming out, see the changes first, get to vote on things and help me make decisions, then definitely get on my newsletter, and that link will be in the show notes below. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys back here in January. Bye.